You are now tuned in to StarCHaser Central. Ugh, wow, that was horrible. StarCHaser Central, actually, a podcast about Charles Hampton music moments and everything in between. Um, I think I'm sick, Braxton. I'm not sure anymore.
I'll be honest. I think you try to rush through these intros because it might be like yeah, take your time, man. I'm Mike D. Jackson.
Time slows down for no man.
You know what's weird about that? Because this weekend, obviously, I had like a pretty interesting weekend where I lost sleep. I just told a friend, like, yeah, I'm trying to catch back up on sleep. They were like, oh, well, technically you can't make up for lost time. I'm like, true, but imagine being like, oh, didn't get sleep, so I guess I gotta stay up for the rest of the day now. Oh, I missed a meal. I guess I can't eat. I guess I'm gonna starve. I get it, but make time, take time, you know.
Brother, I think I saw you come in at 5 in the morning.
Listen to Pretty Ricky. Yep, I did. I did that.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna ask what kind of night you had to be out and getting home at 5. But shout out to you. What time did you have to get up and do stuff after that?
That was Saturday night going into Sunday. I had to be at work at 10. So like getting like let's say like 3, 4 hours of sleep, that's perfect for me. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm like, I normally do that anyway. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just me though.
Okay. Well, more power to you. But we are here with a suggestion from you. We are listening to, he's loud downstairs, Skatekey in 87.
Yes, sir. Skatekey in 87. This project came out around August of 2013, but it was actually recorded a day after Charles's birthday, November 11th of 2012. Shout out to Michael J. Roach. If you guys look this tape up, you'll see the tape obviously, but you'll also see a Ustream. It's like 3 hours, whatever. So watch it at your own leisure of Charles and everybody in the studio recording this whole tape. So very historical moment and some funny tidbits and just history that has not been lost to time. Thank God. Luckily, we have that stuff out there.
Yeah, I have zero knowledge of this tape. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is just jumping ahead of you. This is my first listen to this tape. I've never actually heard of this name at all. So this is going to be very, very intriguing and interesting how I kind of navigate this. But you kind of alluded to it. This is a 2012, kind of or a Ustream type of situation. Do you remember being around and actually listening fully, or is it kind of a blur?
I'll be honest, it's more of a blur than anything because I know when we were talking about what tape we're going to listen to, I was like, hey, let's try Skate Key in 87.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, man, I really don't remember this. I kind of remember the cover, but then I was like, yo, let me look at some of the U string or whatever.
Mhm.
And you already know, I'm watching like a minute through. You see Shalik on there. He's like, "What up, Mike D?" And there's no other Mike D in the Star Chaser Central universe. So I'm like, I was fucking there. So I was there for that Ustream. I just don't remember it. So I've had to have heard this tape, but so many tapes removed, so many tapes have happened since then. So this is more of a re-listening for me, you know. So maybe I'm not in the same boat as you, but there's some familiarity in some aspect.
Uh, it's interesting because like you are normally if you were a part of like a Ustream situation, you remember. So it's kind of weird that you don't remember this one. But it could be a refresher. Let me know if anything when you were listening to it, you're like, this kind of sounds familiar or not. 9 tracks, very short tape. We like those 9 track tapes that Charles puts out. Let's jump right into it if you're ready. First off, the cover. What are we thinking about this cover?
Very simple, just a white background. You see like a little skate key, I guess. You see the Pink Panther. Not sure what the Pink Panther had to do with that, but the Pink Panther is kind of like a smooth, sly character. I feel like with certain characters like that, that's kind of how you are like when you're on the skating rink floor, when you're someone that knows how to skate, you know? Speaking of that, um, I have another question for you, but how do you feel about the cover?
Um, Simple, like you said. We got the black and pink. The that's a a familiar combination of colors Charles uses. Pink Panther was used sporadically, I guess, during Charles's tenure. He's got a couple of covers or things that he's associated with Pink Panther. Um, Other than that, really, and I think that like I like the keychain aspect of it, but you know, skating rink isn't my home turf. That's another co-host that owns that turf. Maybe you can shed some light more on that.
So it's funny for me because like you said, that's more of my turf. Like ever since I was 12, 13, like I would go like almost every weekend before the bars and the clubs and all that. That was my club. You
Mm.
know, that's what I would do every weekend. And even though that's like my thing, everyone did it though. Like I know there's times you've gone to the skate rink before, you know, maybe for with friends during the weekend. What are your thoughts like at maybe like a local skate rink or a skate rink around your area? Like how do you feel about like skating if a friend was like maybe not now, but like teenage years or whatever. Oh, we're going skating. Like were you like, oh yeah, let's go. Skating's fun, or was it like I hate skating. I hate skates. I hate being on skates.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, bro. We didn't have skate rinks like that.
Really?
Mm-mm. The closest thing we got to like skating was like the jumps on the street. What's that? Inline skating? Oh, it's just skating. Yeah, that was the main thing that we did, and it was all right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the craziest thing. Like I think I did it for like a summer, maybe it's 2 summers or whatever, and I was like, this ain't for me. Um, so yeah, I don't have that much experience when it comes to the skating rink, but I've seen the skating rink scene, and I'll just use the way that it's used in media. In certain media, I feel like there's two versions of it. There's one that it's quote unquote corny to do like the dancing situation when you're doing the skating thing. Or the skating rink was just the it was like you said, it was the younger person's club. So that's where people went to hang out. They may not have actually went to actually skate. It's just like when, it's quote loitering, basically. It's just a hangout spot or whatever. So I'd probably use it more as a hangout spot because I'm not really big into skating like that. But I wouldn't call it corny. I just would be like, they better than me. That's how I probably would have looked at it.
Makes sense. That makes complete sense. We can go into the tape when you're ready. I got you.
Okay. You don't have to follow up to that. You good? You
No, I'm good. I'm about to say like there's other stuff I'm gonna say, but we
got
go
it.
into the episode when we talk about it. So
Okay. Um, we start off with Roller Love 87. Bounce.
gotcha. By the way, guys, there's going to be a playlist that we'll link to this or whatever because there was a playlist before, but it had an extra song that had nothing to do with this tape. So we're like, we'll just make another one, and hopefully these are in the correct order because when I did look this tape up, I didn't see any type of playlist at all. Like I seen like cover art, alternate covers, but no playlist. So starting with Roller Love. As soon as the song comes on, I'm like, okay. I definitely feel like the old school vibes. Definitely feel like I'm in 87. You know, 89 was better, but you know. But I did feel the skating feel from it. I'm like, okay, this has like a skating feel to it. As soon as you hear Charles come in, you know, he commits to this 80s flow
Hmm.
and it works. It's one of those things where I'm like, this is how he's gonna rap for the tape. Cause we've talked and heard about some other tapes that Charles will get into character, right? And it's like sometimes it can be jarring, sometimes it could be, you know, it makes the music better. And I think it works in this aspect. The beat's pretty simple and it's chill. The hook's nice, you know, like I said, it puts you in that vibe. And then part of me is just like, man, like I wish the beat would kick in. It kicks in the third verse, and originally I felt like, man, he should have brought it in sooner. But after a couple listens, I'm cool with it, you know, kicking in at the third verse. It sounds so much better when it does. Overall, I think this is a pretty good intro. You know, a pretty good way to get people maybe in tune with the music and maybe into the vibe, especially with people that might have not been at the skating rink or might not have many experiences with the skating rink. How do you feel?
So I think that's an important distinction to make in this review, right? You make two great points. Is that one, I think this is very important to nail the vibe of what you're going for. And the part where this is 87, and that where it's supposed the setting is the roller rink, or how is it called, the roller rink, or do you just call it the rink? What would you say?
So here's the thing. The reason why this tape's called Skatekey in
Mhm.
87, of course the 87, it's a certain vibe he's going for, but the Skatekey is an actual skating rink in New York.
Okay.
So it's a big skating rink and it's really popular in that area. Like Charles was telling me, like in the 80s, even the 90s, maybe a little bit later in the 2000s, but like that big, point was, 80s. Even if you didn't have a skate key, everyone had a skating rink, or most people did, that
Mhm.
they were, oh, during the 80s, it just blew up. 90s, it was real fun too. Um, and the whole thing with Charles was that um, it's a lot of everybody goes. So you got the people that just want to have a good time. You even have the thugs and the gangsters that
Mhm.
we'll allude to later that
Mhm.
go there too. Like you said, they're loitering over there. That's probably where they just chill. They probably don't even have skates on.
Mhm.
And then the gothic kids,
Mhm.
and it's one of those things where Charles is meshing the what would happen if the gothic kids and then the thugs and the pimps and the players and the whoever else is there, they just the worlds collide. But
Yeah.
that's the reason for it being called Skatekey. That's the actual place in New York.
So I think it's important to set that vibe with that setting, and I think he does that pretty well. Like again, I'm leaning more on you when it comes to does it pass the vibe check, as the young kids say, right? Um, but I think what I like the most about this is more so the verses over the beat and the hooks. I think the beat's fine, and I know what you mean by as far as you wish it came in just a little bit earlier. Um, and it's fine. It's just when it gets to the hook, and then all that stuff's happening at once, and it feels like everything's over top of each other. And then about the hook is I'm not entirely a fan of the repetitiveness of the hook, how it's like over and over, and then when you have that static that's in the background too, it kind of takes away from the song. But the verses I love, and like you said, him committing to an 80s style of rap, and there's one song in particular where I'm like, oh yeah, you're definitely doing this. I see what you're doing. It's quite clever. Um, but the way he's committing to that is very impressive. And as long as you set that table and you know what you're getting yourself into, I think you're gonna enjoy the tape. So for me, it's obviously we don't know the order, but if this we're calling this the intro, it's okay. But it's okay. It's okay as a song, but probably good as an intro as far as vibe checks.
Definitely, I agree with that. Yeah.
Um, Nirvana on Wheels.
So I didn't know what I was expecting when I seen the title. Of course, we know Nirvana, so I'm like, if he could figure out a way to flip Nirvana and make it like a skating rink song, then but that's not what happens at all. It's actually TLC flip, you know. And shout out to TLC, digging on you. I remember my dad had the cassette of Crazy Sexy Cool. So
Mhm.
I remember like as soon as I heard this come in, I'm like, oh, that's TLC. I'm like, oh, another song that, gets that vibe going. And I actually feel like this song is like I'll say it like this. So when I'm at the skating rink, they have this thing called all skate where everyone comes and skates. They
Mhm.
have the backward skate, they have the couple skate and all that. And I feel like this is the hey, if you ain't on the floor yet, everybody get on the floor, get your groove on. It feels like that. Like you're just actually on the floor. You're on your wheels, your 4 to 8 wheels. This is I guess the first mention of Aisha on the tape.
Mhm.
So it's just like, all right, who's this girl Aisha? This is the apple of his eye, the girl he's trying to get with. Is it an actual girlfriend or either way, I'll say this now. I think this might be my favorite. The
Okay.
hook,
Wow.
I like the hook. Hook's fire. Like I said, I feel like I could close my eyes and envision either a music video for this, or I feel like, oh, I could hear this beat or something like this at an actual skating rink. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but I really do like this song.
I'm so rockin', I just roll, but we live from the 718. Room so hot and my drink so cold, and we live from the 718. She's so hot and I'm just cold when live from the 718. Haha, yeah. Rock and roll with my gothic soul. We live from the 718. Here we go. Here we go.
I think I had this as because I left my notes downstairs. But I got them on top. But I think I had this one as it's okay. But this is where this is gonna be a consistent thing for me going forward, I think. And I love the hooks and beats on this tape. I think, this is a really good tape of hooks. Like other than like maybe the first one, and then there might be one later that I'm not a fan of. Um, but everything as far as what he's doing as far as hooks and the beat connection together, I really love that. I think the verses here were a little they weren't as connecting as the first one. I really liked what he was doing with the first one, but this one is just like, nothing really strikes out as memorable for me, except for obviously the Aisha mention, which will be a consistent theme throughout the tape. And like you said, maybe this is a girl he probably saw at the skate and at the Skatekey, and that's somebody that who consistently was there, and or maybe it's just a person that he made up for the story. Who knows, right? Um, but as far as the song goes, it's I probably could do. I wouldn't say I would skip it, but it's one of those ones where it's like, it's probably only gonna go play through like on a replay through or whatever. Because there are some here where I'm like, I probably wouldn't play that one. Um, we follow that up with at least on our thing is let me make sure I have this name right because I don't want to say this incorrectly. What we say,
There's some
Lauren?
tricky names on here. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? All right, we got Lauren Aisha, the church girl, which sounds interesting.
it does because especially in this song, right? So I think that this song has like it has another groove to it too, real
Hmm.
Parliament vibes. And Charles does mention, I think, in his verses that she's a church girl, other than him saying that in the title. But I guess he's attempting to make a move on this girl. I feel like the last song was maybe him catching her eye, finding out her name and whatnot. And then this
Hmm.
might be him actually having a conversation with her. And then they might be digging each other's vibe a little bit. And then, in the hook's pretty catchy to me. He's telling her to follow me, and that's one of the things like at the skate rink, that's what you kind of do when you're skating together, or not me personally, but I know for other people that don't know how to skate well, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna skate real fast, see if you can catch up with me and all that. And
Hmm.
it's funny because for me, anyone that knew how to shuffle skate, the stuff that you've seen that one video on like Instagram of me and my boy skating, and people were like, oh, that's what y'all call shuffling. It's like, yeah. But we actually skate really slow on the floor. Like we will like not move our wheels at all. We're just like gliding like this.
Hmm.
People say you're going so slow. I'm like, so what? And other people, there's like they have to move their feet to go real fast. But anyway, with this song, uh, it's just real funny because I feel like he was saying that Aisha is, she's a church girl, but she kind of has a little bit of a devilish side to her.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's like it sounds more like you have the devilish side, unless it's like a flip thing. But uh, I mean, he's telling her to follow him, and the only way you could follow him is if you swallow him. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Um, overall, it's a cool song. I'm okay with the song. It's cool.
Uh, yeah, I like this one a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I was a fan of this one. I like the hook, like you said, follow me into the swallow me seems very, very Charles-esque, right? But I think you're right. I think it's like a double. I think the exchange is a mutual thing because you know what they say. They say the nastiest girls typically are the pastor's daughter or people, church girls, which some of us can confirm. And then there's Charles, who he has his ways, and we've seen him over the years with women, and how his charm is able to kind of be very seductive or whatever. Um, yeah, but I like this one, man. I like like I said, the beat and the hook combination is just really good. And I feel like this is a good storytelling tape too, where like a lot of the songs are he's showing us a story, like narrating a story kinda. And this is a really good example of that. There's a few more good examples of this that we'll get into later, but yeah, I like this one. This one's fun for me.
Okay, so follow me. I got these ghosts and everywhere I go they follow me. I got this hoe and everywhere I go she follow me. And I told her only way that she can follow me is if she get down on her knees and then she swallow me. But when I say it, baby girl don't wanna follow me because she Christian and the world don't wanna follow me. And I'm Gothic and the only way you follow me is if you swallow me.
Definitely a fun song. And I think the beat and like I said, Charles continuing to do the flow, the voice, and it's
Mhm.
like without it, it's just kind of like throws it off, and it's just like, man, like if this is really a skate key or a skating tape, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
so I agree.
He's now he's very much sound like a MC, like a DJ at like a section, right? Is that something that's normal at the skating rink, or is that like come it varies between each one?
For the ones I've been to, there's always a DJ there or the MC, whatever you want to call it. I just call him the DJ. Like when I was younger, um, my boy Ben, and I'm so cool with him now. He's been stopped working on the skating rink. He works at a bar now as like a bouncer. But he was always the dude that would tell everyone, "Hey, welcome to the skating rink. These are the rules. You know what I mean? These are the exits. This is what you do. Everyone stop. You know, we're gonna do all skate, couple skate, whatever. You know." But I think it varies on like what type of skating rink you're at for how
Mhm.
much they talk and how much they don't. Like when you guys see me in those videos on Instagram where like I'm doing the skating stuff, you won't hear the DJ as much. They'll say, "Hey, we're going to do a all skate or something like that," but they don't have to speak as much because everyone already knows how to skate on those nights. If you go on like a Friday night or a Saturday night, it might be different because you have little kids that are there, you have the grown adults, and everyone's skating levels is different, you know.
Interesting. Uh, okay. Here's another interesting title. Logic behind the assault at the key. This sounds dangerous.
Very dangerous. um, so I'll say this. I don't know how dangerous the skate key is. I do know there are some videos on YouTube about the skate key because, like I said, it's a very famous place. I don't know if there was like a reference where Charles was like, "Hey, this was something that happened in 87," or "Oh no, this was actually happened in 96." But there was this real big fight at the skating rink. I know when I was younger, there used to be some fights at the skating rink. There's one kid I knew, he was cool, but I remember it got to the point where this is probably gonna sound crazy for you, right? So skating rink got so crazy near my house that I remember they started getting the little wand detectors. So when you come into the skating rink
Oh,
and
the yeah,
I think that started because the one kid I knew because he had like a butterfly knife on him. He got caught with one. And it's like, bro, like,
nice.
for what? And I want to say we were like 17 when this happened. And I think after that, they said, nope, everybody getting wanded down. Don't care. Everyone gets wanded. You know what I
Bro,
mean?
you got to keep that thing on you, bro.
At 17 though, like bro, like this at this point, like we was at the point of like, oh, you fight, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you
Yeah.
don't I'm a man without it. You know what I mean? Like on some Friday, like, oh, you think you're the man with that gun, huh? Like for real. Like anyway, so with logic behind the assault, um, I like the feel and the energy from the beat
Mhm.
because it does feel like it's something serious, something tense. Either is about to pop off or it's going to happen. Um, there's a little energy from there, you know, Charles saying Saturday night, because I feel like Saturday nights is like a that's like a skating rink night, you know,
Mhm.
regardless if you go there all the time or you're someone that's bored. Hey, y'all, let's go skating or bowling, you know, because I usually put those like hand in hand. Either people go skating or bowling.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure with the whole story of the song, but I think it's cool overall. It's chill.
Yeah, I think it lacks in the story department as some of the of against some of the other songs. But as far as the song itself, I like this one. I like this one a lot. Again, the hook. I'm telling you, these hooks are good, man. They're catchy enough where like you catch yourself like singing them. And I think I mentioned previously like there's like a section of I think it's just a section of like like certain years and certain pockets of years where the hooks just don't hit like I would like them to. 2013 is probably one of those years where it's like it's very up and down. Um, but this one I like pretty much every hook except for the first one, and that's only really just because of the sound and the repetitiveness. Um, but yeah, great hook. Song is good. Song is cool. Um, and bleeds into what I actually thought was actually gonna be the real fight at the club or at the skate rink, which is golf's at the key incites a fight. Like that makes more sense than this one. You know what I'm saying? Like assault at the key was the assault at the key because of the golfs?
I don't know. In my head, like so. I heard this tape maybe once or twice before I actually talked to Charles. So some of it made a little bit more sense after I talked to him.
Mhm.
But when I first heard this before, I was assuming that same thing, like, oh, the Gothic kids are there, so they're going to start a fight. They're going to just be like everyone else is going to be vibing, and they're going to have such a different vibe that's going to bother people. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, y'all want to be weird and different, and then fight happens.
Right.
Um, I think it's more that people are uncomfortable with them, and maybe that's why the fight like started. Not even
Mhm.
because they did it. It's more people just, well, they want to be different and this and that. Going into the song though, I will say this. When I heard it, I was very iffy on it at first because I was like, okay, if this is the gothic song or whatever, this doesn't even sound like I felt like from with this beat, Charles got a little bit away from the 87 feel. And in
Mhm.
my head, like, I'll be honest, I don't know when goth or gothicness started, but
Mhm.
I think it's probably because I'm thinking about what we knew as goths,
Yeah.
especially growing up as goths. And I'm like, plays them in 87. And I'm like, because I'm thinking more of like in 87, they might have been like punk rock or something like that. Maybe not
Sure.
exactly goth.
Or like grunge.
Exactly, exactly. But the beat is a little weird, you know what I mean? I think this is what it's supposed to be like because it's like, oh, you got this group and this group, and they're not supposed to be there. It's like the multiverse, haha, see what happens.
Mhm.
This beat sounds like it's supposed to be at a carnival though. I don't feel like it's supposed to be at a skating rink. I know at a skating rink it goes around. Like I'm thinking about that ride, the Himalaya that you see at a carnival that
Mhm.
goes around. I'm like, I feel like it's supposed to be like at a circus or a carnival. So it threw me a little off. Um, Charles said some interesting things on that first verse. Uh, he did his best Drake impression, I guess you say. Um, song, I guess is it's decent. Part of me, I'm like, I heard it today. I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought, but like, it's definitely on my lower end of the tape.
So obviously, I think I've just to be safe, trigger warning. The hook is about suicidal bitches, apparently. On the dance floor. Um, which, you know, what an imagery that he provides. I I like that hook. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, even though it's kind of disturbing, but it's a good hook, and the beat itself matches. I think you're right. I think it does deviate from the vibes that we did. What this is track five, so the first four, and then just hard left. But I guess that would make sense too, though, because that we're placing a archetype of person in a setting that you would never think to see them at, right? I don't know if you did something that you've ever seen. Have you ever seen like a quote unquote golf person at a skate rink?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just not in '87. I wasn't there yet, but no, I
Fair.
definitely I definitely seen them. And the thing is, like, not the stereotype, but it comes with it. Like they're definitely wearing rollerblades. They're not wearing nothing else but inlines, rollerblades.
Sure.
You'd be surprised if you even seen them in the Brown Boys. And for
Yeah.
those that don't know what Brown Boys are, we call those the rental skates, and they're
Mhm.
brown. So Brown Boys.
Fair. So I think with that, it does give a it's smart to make it like a sharp contrast of what we've heard so far because this is so different and something you think you would not see, right? Um, and I was prepared to really like this song. But as you already alluded to, sir, um, the first of all, we have to give him credit. This tape is like we said, it's freestyle, and people. I remember there was mentioned like this tape was fully freestyle, and people got to watch him do it. So for a freestyle tape, everything sounds good. Like it sounds very, on point for most of the everything, except for this time where he mentions, and like not even like an illusion, not like oh, did he really mean that? No, he said something that I'm not gonna repeat, just in case I'm not gonna repeat it. Um, but yeah, I can't get past that one, buddy. That kind of ruined it for me.
So two things, right? In this situation, for bars wise, like literal bars wise, I'll shoot him some bail, some
Hmm.
some rap bail jail. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Because I hate to do it, but this was in 2012,
Hmm.
and A lot of wild stuff was being said in 2012, and no one cared
Facts.
then. No one cared then. Um, also, so I'll say that because I think probably back then we were probably just like, okay, whatever, just that's Charles being Charles. But also, best way I can say it when I was saying it because he says, I'm gonna call you a baby girl and I'm a grown man. So you remember when Kurt Angle did that promo on Rey Mysterio where he said, "I'm a grown man and you're a
Yeah.
little boy."
Yeah.
Wait, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
And I love they were like, what?
And he's like, no, let me do it again. I'm a grown man and you're a little boy. And it's like, all right. It's like we get it. Like I get the bar though. I do
Yeah.
get the bar, but it's like, oh man, like there's no other way to word it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But then he does say, oh well, that's a freestyle, you know what I mean? So it's like, all right, but I'll just say, hey, it's 2012. So
but like immediately after, like as if like his brain was like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Let me go ahead and correct that immediately with the freestyle thing. And sure, yeah, I get it. Your freestyles are like, yeah, I don't know, bro. I can't unhear that one and today. But the hook is great. I like the hook. So there's that. Um then we get Jesus. Fallen Skater Band-Aid brand, which may have my favorite hook on the tape. Because I think it's just that ridiculous.
hey, feel free to talk about it. You know, what I mean, I love to hear your input on this. So, 'cause I feel the song's just wild. You know, what I mean, not wild like the last one, but just wild in a different way.
I like this song because again, it's really a good storytelling. Now, granted, it's a wild tale because like you know what I'm saying just based off what it is. But again, the voice inflection that he uses as far as when he's rapping, that style and telling the tale of this, it's almost like he's a kind of like a knight in shining armor in a sense on a skating ring. And I think like you were kind of alluding to, like there's sometimes when you get in the skating rink and there's somebody who maybe isn't the best skater, or there's somebody who's, some people get picked on for various reasons, whatever. And there are some people that will, hey, just come skate with me, and we can have a good time together, whatever. And that's kind of the vibes I get from this, where it's this what was the exact term? This ugly white bitch. Um, ugly white bitch who got tripped on the skate rink floor, man. But Charles doesn't see it that way. He sees something else. He sees the positive light in there. And yeah, she just happened to trip and fall in front of him, you know? It's a good tale, it's a good story, man. It's just funny to me. I had a good time listening to this record.
All right, so I know we talked about I think in the beginning because he says, "Oh, DJ Charles Hamilton can't see her go out like that,"
Yeah.
and then I feel like it was him being either the DJ and also he could have been the floor guard or the referee because that's like that at the skating rink too, where you have those one or two people that will be on the floor just to make sure everyone's being safe.
Hmm.
If you're going to be skating fast, be on the outside. If you're going to be skating slow, be more on the inside. Just regulate everything.
Hmm.
Um, and I will be honest, it is a funny song for me overall. I think it's eh.
Hmm.
It's more funny than whatever, but Charles does have some valid points because number one, like I said, being someone that would go to the skating rink every weekend, knowing how to skate,
Hmm.
the floor guards would look at us immediately. So like I said, my boy that was working there at the skating rink, our local skating rink, he was the DJ. Some nights he'd be the floor guard, just like they have you do whatever they need you to do. But for us, they'd be like, yo, listen, y'all know, like, you can go only so fast. Like, if y'all start going real fast, I gotta for real, you're gonna make me do my job. Don't make me do my job.
Hmm.
But we had when I was like 13, we had some hard asses. We had this like tall black guy and this tall white woman. They used to come up to us and be like, I'm telling y'all now, this is the first and final warning. This is the first and final warning. If I even tell you to slow down, you're getting sat down. You have to sit down. And sometimes they'd be like, oh, you gotta sit down for a song. Sometimes they'd be like, you'll get up when I tell you to. And you'd be sitting down for like 5 songs.
Hmm.
So, but anyway, um, Charles has some valid points because it's like, bro, like if you know people can't really skate, don't blow past them, trip them, do all this stuff around them. Like, make sure you're being safe with your boys and having fun or your girls, and then do that away from them because that actually ruins the ruins the skating event, the purpose for everybody.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of us that know how to shuffle and skate well, but the majority of people that actually go are the people that don't skate well,
Yeah.
the people that like to watch and see that stuff. And if you're chasing people like that away, the skating rink, the floor, the vibe cannot thrive. You know what I mean? So overall, it's not one of my favorite songs. It's like it's lower on my list. It's decent, but it is a funny song. And Charles does spit some truth where it's like, hey, y'all gotta make sure everyone's being safe and respectful. You know, um, and she's not an ugly white bitch. She's a lovely white chick. You know, and she's gothic, so that might be another reason why she don't know how to skate. Because they don't do that. So help everybody out and let everyone have some fun. Skate at your own risk, please.
Just what a fantastically fun record. We followed that up with Skatekey's 87 to Heaven Party. Invite.
1987. Sound like I'm calling kicks, but I'm calling your lips to get 187 from a 9. Since you wanna call it quits with giving me love and shit. Maybe I'm blasting, maybe I'm rapping, maybe I'm simply the king of Manhattan. I stay walking like Christopher. This is word. I'm spitting verbs, but unfortunately there's nouns, and in the beginning there's.
So with this song, I remember, I think I heard this first. Like I kind of felt like I kind of remember hearing this. And I felt like this song was supposed to be either the lead song, maybe not the intro, but like the lead song or like the promo song that kind of like set this off because it's the I want to say it's the Summer Madness sample, Everyone knows that sample or knows that song just from, from Will Smith, so from Summertime.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this song is the best showcase of the 80s flow. Where like Charles is like right in the pocket, like how he's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be, he's staying on key, staying on point. Just does a really great job of it. The hook's nice, the vocals are nice and all that. Only problem I really have is the song gets a little messed up from the hook because you hear it's like a piercing sound that
Oh, okay. We're on the same page. Yeah.
the thing is, if you ever heard, Summer Madness, it has that in the song, but it's not that loud. It's not pitched up that loud. You know what I mean? I've heard the beat before, the original song before. And I don't know what happened with the mixing of it. By the way, if y'all don't know, this when you guys see the Ustream, this was recorded in a actual studio.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all have heard me say before in different episodes. Oh, people said Charles need to go back in the studio, go in an actual studio, record it, get it mixed and mastered and all that, whatever. This was recorded in an actual studio. You see it. I think the first song Charles records is this song, at least on the Ustream that you'll see. Um, but like if there was a way to like tone that part down, it's like other than that, song's great. Uh, I like the song. I really do like the song. For me, I don't know. It just sounds like it's supposed to be like the lead single or something like that. If this was supposed to come out like a certain way, this was supposed to be the right in your face, the first song that people would be like, oh, when I think of Skatekey 87, I think of this tape. So
Yeah. You basically married every point I was gonna make, especially that point about him. This is the 80s flow kind of mastered in this situation. Um, I think, and I'm not familiar with the original song. Does he rap that well? Does the flow that way? When I heard, I was like, oh, this is Will Smith. This is like Will rapping exactly like Will in this situation. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then once you connect the two dots together, like, okay, I like what he's doing here. But like you, the only thing that you could ever really come away and be like, this is the one thing making it what's the word I'm looking for, that stops it from being like a perfect song. It's just that piercing, what's it called. It's in the headphones, and I was like, ooh, that is rough. And then even when it's not in the headphones and you just listen outside, you can still hear it. So that's the only knock against it, because other than that, it's a really good song, and I think it's probably my favorite one on the tape, honestly.
it makes sense. Speaking of like, Will Smith and whatnot, because when I was listening to the tape, I'm like, okay, he's doing the 80s flow, but who is he? Who is he doing this flow from? Who is he getting this flow from? There's a bunch
Hmm.
of 80s rappers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it now because, okay, He recorded it in 2012, 2013. You know what I mean? 80s, it's supposed to be a tape from 87. For me, I was thinking more like Curtis Blow. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, you're doing like a Curtis Blow type of deal. Did you
Yeah.
ever like think about that? Like when you listen to the tape, like, oh, he sounds like, because there was someone that did say when they heard this song, oh, he's doing Will Smith. He's doing the Will Smith, just
Hmm.
early Will, doing an early Will.
Yeah. The Will one is one I definitely caught with these ones. I can see Curtis Blow. I think Curtis Blow is like one of his. He references Curtis Blow as like one of his, not his like idols, but like he does a lot of similar way he does with oh my God, Mayfield. Help me.
Curtis Mayfield,
Thank you.
James Brown.
Yeah. The same way he does that, I think he has like a similar appreciation with like Curtis Blow as far as like early rapping or whatever. So I would probably guess that's what it is. Curtis Blow was like the first rapper that we had, so I think he was just paying homage to that point of it. But yeah, I was just going with generic '80s flow, except for this one where it was like this definitely he absolutely sounded like Will on this record.
It's funny because, like I said, people said that, and I had to, just a reminder for some people, even if you were to say, oh, he's doing the Will Smith, when Will Smith was rapping on Summertime, he was doing Rakim.
Yep, and that
He was
was gonna
doing
be my next point. Hmm.
he was doing the whole Rakim thing. So it's like that'd be crazy if Charles was doing Will Smith that was doing Rakim that might have been doing something else, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But it's none of those. I asked Charles, I'm like, yeah, so who was this modeled after? He said Ice-T. I would have never guessed. I mean, Ice-T, obviously 80s rapper, you know what I mean? But I think the reason why I was so confused by it or thrown off by it, because a lot of the songs we think of him as like maybe like Cop Killer and like the
yeah,
real colors, the real like if you think about just the flow kind of yeah, but I think we just think about the aggressive style of it.
yeah.
Like Ice-T always had those aggressive songs where he's talking about gang and street violence, you know. So, but on here, Charles is being a little bit more smooth with it, you know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. Shout out to Ice T though. Ice T got that yeah, like a heavy metal band, don't he?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, he got metal band, acting career. I'm pretty sure he's not with Coco no more. He with probably some other
Is
lovely
he
white
is he
chick.
not? I thought he's still with Coco.
I don't even know, man. I thought at one point they left, got back together. Then I'm like, I don't know.
No.
She's a lovely
Yeah.
white chick though. So
Hey, yes, she is. Yes, she is. Um, from hood to hood. I'm gonna let you take this one because I'm gonna be honest, just off of the title alone, I'm having a trouble remembering what it sounds like. So I'm gonna do a quick listen while you talk.
okay, gotcha. It was pretty interesting because when the song starts, Charles is basically saying, "Hey, um, you know, basically he was like, yo, nothing's going down." Uh, until he's like basically nothing's happening or I'm shutting everything down unless I have the skate key and I have the skate key and it's one of those things I think Roll Bounce touched on that like when people say they have the skate key, let's say if you're the person handing out the skates, you know what I mean, because if you
Hmm.
have rentals you got to give them rentals back and you got to let's say you have the locker or you have the actual skate key, it's like you got to give that skate key back or I'm in control of this, so I'm the one that dictates how this night goes, you know
Hmm.
what I mean. um but then when the song actually starts to kick in, this is where it takes another left turn, like you said, because this is the rock gothic song,
Yeah.
and it just, like I said, just goes really heavy into that lane. Long story short, I'm not feeling it. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, because it's the rock song, it's the gothic song. If this is when they finally take over and they're like, hey, y'all been pushing us enough, y'all been making fun of us, y'all been laughing at us, we're gonna get our revenge, or we're gonna take over the skating rink. Maybe Charles was like leading that charge too, because with
Hmm.
him saying he's gothic too, it's like okay. But I feel like this song out of all of them venture too far away from the point of Skatekey in 87. And of
Hmm.
course, this was his thing saying, hey, put them together. But sonically, I'm just like, it just doesn't sound like it should be on here. Like it sounds like it could be on like a bunch of other tapes he had that came out in like 2012, 2013. But this song, not feeling it.
So I did a quick. I just pressed play for like 10 seconds, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember now." Um, I went into this thinking I was going to heavily dislike this song. He got me bobbing my head. I'm gonna be honest, and it's but it comes with a caveat. outside of headphones, it's a no-no. But in the headphones, much better experience. I think it's something where it's a song where like if it hits shuffle and it comes on, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But then I'm absolutely gonna go look for my headphones immediately, right? If I can't play it through headphones, I'm not gonna listen. But if it's I'm on my phone, Bluetooth on, and it comes up, I'm like, cool, let's lock it in. I think what I like about this song and just in terms of the narrative that we're playing, right? We've seen a bunch of different people during this event at the Skatekey, right? We've seen Charles the DJ, we've seen Aisha the church girl, we've seen the golfs, we've seen the hood dudes, we've seen the random white bitch. So like we've seen like so many different people, and this being called from hood to hood is kind of I feel like it's supposed to be like you said, it's supposed to be like a kind of like a rallying call, like for I think it's supposed to be like a combination of everything. And this is like partial for the goths, partial for the hood people, partial for everybody. It's supposed to be an inclusive song. And I can see why, one, that is a very big deviation from the vibes. But I think that's also kind of the point. Like you said, I think this is supposed to be like the skate key brings people together, and this is going to be now our quote unquote anthem as a rebellious of people who say that it's only for a certain type of person. So narratively, I think it's really good. I think from what you call it, it's the surprise song for the tape for me. But I do see why, it's a no go for you as well. But definitely headphones is the key for this one.
Nice. Not only is it the key, it's the skate key.
Facts. Um, but every skate has to end, and we're ending it off with a roller. Oh, let me make sure I'm saying this right too. A roll around with Aisha. I must ask you first, what is a roll around?
All right. I think all skate rinks have a different name for it, but it's when this rap is around. And a rap for your round. I rap around, around, rap, round, round, rap. How you going to get around that? That shit fast.
Ah!
Nah. Oh, yo. No, on a serious note, I think a roll around is just their way of saying like slow skate, couple skate. Because I know for us at our skating rink, what they would do was they would start off the night just everyone get on the floor, then they do the introduction, then they do a backward skate. So if you do a backward skate, you do a backward skate. Then they go back to all skate. They would do lady skate, guy skate, go back on the floor, all skate. Halfway through the night, you do a couple skate. And then they do some other stuff. Later on, they do another couple skate at the end, couple slow skate. If there
Mhm.
weren't enough couples on there, you could slow skate. You could go on the floor by yourself. They play all the R&B songs and all that. Um, I think it makes sense because it sounds like to me like he had his introduction with her earlier, talked to her, she was following him, they had a good time. The fights happened, broke out, whatever. They calmed it down, finally got the last song on there. I think this is where he's like, all right, let me go around the floor with her and whatnot. And I'm
Mhm.
gonna say this now. If you are a couple skating, guys, I'm sorry to do the rolls. You have to be skating backwards. If you're a guy, you have to be skating backwards. She's skating forwards. You don't make the girl skate backwards. And also, sorry, you look lame if you're both skating forwards holding hands like this. No, you gotta skate backwards where her hands are up here, your hands are down there.
Mhm.
Bro, it is what it is.
Okay.
Um, I think this is a pretty smooth song. He did a sample with Miguel. Shout out to Miguel. Nice way to end the tape. It just sounds like he finally got the chance to talk to her and get the couple skate, and it just goes from there. Now, what happens after the skate rink? Who knows? But he's been talking about he's been wanting to get up with her and see what's up. So hopefully he got the number and then they got to hang out later. But overall, good song. I like the song.
Yeah, my first listen, I thought I'll say this. When I was going to my second listen, I was like, the reason I remember this song is because of the Miguel sample. And I was like, is the Miguel sample carrying this song? So I had to really, take a much deeper listen the second and third times around. And no, it's a good song. I think it's for our purposes in this playlist, I think it's a good way to end the tape. It's kind of like to me, it's like Last Skate essentially, where it's like, all right, we're cool, we're couples, and we're ending the night, and I think it's a perfect way to end the tape. Um, Yeah, it doesn't. I feel like the Miguel thing only enhances what he's saying on the track versus you know doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So as far as the song goes, really good, and as far as the outro goes, also good. So yeah, solid ending.
Yeah, and also it's just crazy because from hood to hood, he did the whole gothic thing, screaming, and then goes to this song, and then he's like Aisha, Aisha, and all that, and it's just like, how the hell you go from that to that? I mean, whatever, like sometimes segues don't work the best. There's definitely been some times where I know at the skating rink because they're not professional DJs. It's literally like, do you know how to play records? Do you know how to press play and stop? Like you could be a DJ. Now there are DJs I know that can DJ at a skating rink, but for the
Mhm.
most part, if you're working like a regular shift, do you know how press play, press stop, start the music, stop the music? You're the DJ. Yeah. So, and I've seen some wild songs like people putting this and then this because most skating rink sessions they'll have a book out, like a big ass book, and you can request songs.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, you got to write on a sheet of paper, give it to the DJ. Actually, shout out to this one guy, Tyrone. I'm still friends with him, but I remember when I was a kid, I used to request "Flavor in Your Ear" by Craig Mack. This nigga never played that shit. I would request it every week. And I found out later on what he would do was I'd write it on there, and you would have to like do a line, not an actual, I know it's 87, but
That would
not
have been crazy.
yeah.
Whoa.
Me at 13, just like you flavor in your flavor in your nose.
Ah.
Get the flavor. Here come the brand new.
Now you
No,
got this flavor in your nose.
yes, all the flavor. Nah, uh, no, but for real though, like, cause you would just like do a line under yours, and then like other people could request songs. What I found out this guy was doing was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take these. Okay, yeah, and didn't even play none of them. This man literally like they had songs like in a playlist. This man just played the same songs in the playlist. Basically,
Yeah.
that man would go boop. That's it. Maybe he might play another song extra later on or not, but nah, bro. But
Easy money for that man.
very much so. Low pay money, and no disrespect to him, but like that's why a lot of my friends be like, yo, why didn't you work at the skate rink? I'm like, bro, they have like no hours and like no pay. Everyone tells me about it. I'm not, no, I'm good. So
That would be strictly for the love at that point.
yeah, like when you're like a teenager, you're like maybe early 20s, that's when you do it. But like when you're a grown man or woman, no. Mm.
Before we give this rating, I do want to ask you, um, if you were to choose, we'll just do two this time. If you had to choose two songs here that you would skate to, what would they be?
Oh, this would be pretty easy for me. Nirvana on Wheels. I definitely have that on there. And then I really wanted to say Fallen Skater, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So look, I probably do like Nirvana on Wheels for like just like an all skate song, just
Hmm.
somewhere in the night, and then end of the night end it with a roll around with Aisha. Like I pick those two. Like have that couple skate song, and then have like a Ram song that just has a good vibe and flow to it that everyone can skate and bounce to. So, what about you?
Definitely roll around with Aisha. I think that's just it's a good song, and it just sounds like it sounds like the vibes for that. And I think for me, I'd probably do, yeah, I'd probably do Skate Key 87 to Heaven Party. Probably those would be my two. I think that's just the vibes that I would be on if I wasn't 6'10" and can't skate.
I mean, even if you can't, like they said, they have the inside where you could practice your moves and all that. You know what I mean? So, trust me, I remember the first time I went skating, I was like, I remember my mom hated skating. She got on the floor, fell, stayed off the floor. She said, nope.
Yeah,
She said,
that was
mm-mm.
it.
That was it.
Yeah,
My dad like, come on, you don't want. She like, mm-mm, mm-mm. I was like, all right.
all it takes is one, man. I get it. I totally understand that. Um, but we just listened to Skate Key in 87 in 2024. So that's a long time and difference. But let us know what you are going to do as far as review goes, any pros and cons, and what character rating are you giving it today, Mike?
Crazy. Skate key in 87. But in 2024, 37 years, almost 40 years, man. So, but when listening to this tape, I'll be honest. The first time I listened to it, I'm like, all right, cool. That I can remember when we did this review. I'm like, all right, it's cool. I'm like, I'm going to listen to it after like a night of, drinking, just get, see if it changes my vibe for me.
Hmm.
I'll be honest. We've talked about it before. Charles has said, oh, certain tapes are made more for that. I think that would partially help some people. I think it would actually help some people get into the vibe a little bit. For me, maybe it's easier because I have a history of skating. I used to go all the time, every weekend. Um, I still go at least once a month now. Like I said, like I still have, my skates and all that. But for other people, you might, if you get a little bit under the influence, whatever, you might vibe and groove to it a little bit more. It helps that Charles is sticking to character. There are some low points where it's like, the meshing of the goth world, doesn't really, vibe for me. And then some of the quality audio wise, even though this was recorded in a big studio, some of the maybe audio choices he made wasn't really the greatest. Overall, though, I do like this tape. It's a shame I didn't remember it, but I'm glad that we have this podcast so we can go back to it. And honestly, I don't hear that many people talking about it. I remember going back to find some comments about it, right? This tape came out around the same time Steve Blazer did, Steve Smith and
Oh,
the
okay.
Blazer. And basically, a handful of people say, yo, both of these tapes are pretty good. I like them. I feel like I hear more people talk about Steve Smith, though,
Yeah.
compared to 87, So this tape definitely needs the need your listen. I will say this. Probably should do it in headphones. I listen to it maybe once or twice in the car, with just in the car.
Hmm.
Doesn't sound the greatest. It sounds better in headphones. It doesn't sound like terrible without the headphones, but I think it's made more for headphones, which is wild. You record it in a studio, but it sounds better in headphones. But either way, I think more people need to listen to this tape, maybe get their eyes and ears on this, get some experience with it. So I'm gonna give this a tails. This tape sounds a little underrated compared to other stuff that came out around that 2012, 2013 era. It's a shorter tape too, so it's something that you could play real quick and get your groove on. So yeah, tails rating for me.
As someone who had no knowledge of this tape, I came away with a positive experience. I wasn't like upset that I listened to this tape. I wasn't like, "Ooh, this was a tough go at it." You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember my first listen, I was like, it was kind of like background listening, but I had my headphones in, but I was like doing other things, and I was like, okay. And I would when I found myself bobbing my head and like grooving to the music, I would look down, like, okay, this is cool, this is cool. Um, I will say though, this is a tape that's going to depend heavy on, the vibes that you're looking for. Um, if you're able to, engulf yourself into the character and the setting that you're placed in. Um, and yeah, like it's going to be something that you're definitely going to need headphones for. Like I said, there's some audio things that are a little jarring and can be a little rough around the edges. Some content stuff in there that I didn't necessarily like. Um, but the hooks and the beats were really good to me. I really enjoyed them. Um, this one's tough, but yeah, I'm gonna go Tails too because I do think it's something that it's a gem for some people that they're gonna that hopefully us bringing this to the forefront will be like, oh yeah, I didn't know this was here. Let me go check this out. Because it does sound like that C Smith kind of overshadowed that during their I don't know if it was like directly in the same time period, but it does seem like that one overshadowed it. But yeah, I would say definitely go listen to it, especially if you're into like skating like you or into like an '80s vibe, like '80s style hip hop or whatever. I would say give it a listen and hopefully you enjoy that, man.
Definitely. And also feel free for you guys if you do have skating rink stories or skating adventures, anything like that. Feel free to share them. If it's something funny, something embarrassing, this may be your first time going to a skating rink, why you like it, why you don't, just anything. I'll share a funny story. I know with me and I mean none of y'all know any of these people I'm talking about, but my boy Willis, me and him used to go every weekend. And I remember our boy Ben, the guy that was the DJ and the referee, there's this one move we would do. It's been retired ever since, but like I remember I fell. I'll tell a story where I fell. How the move would go. I can't remember the exact move, everything, but the thing was we would do these shuffle moves in the middle of the floor.
Mm.
How it would go. Willis would skate backwards. I would skate forwards. I'd have to do like a spin, a 360, and then I had to, not to be weird, but I had to throw my foot out, right? I'd throw my foot out. He'd throw his foot out, and we would catch each other's foot. You know what I mean? On the floor doing that, whatever. And like everyone's like, oh, how do y'all do that? And they're like, how do you get the timing right? Because we would have to have the right space, because if we're too close, I'm kicking him.
Right.
If not, if I'm too far away, we don't catch each other's foot. And one time I went like that, and I literally see myself going like this. I'm like, I'm falling. I'm like, no. And then and it was like in the middle during the shuffle skate and whatnot. So I'm just like, that's embarrassing. And I'm one of those people that like never fall. Like basically someone would have to trip me for me to fall. So when something like that happens, I'm like, people are like, oh, it happens all the time. I'm like, for y'all, not me.
Yo.
Yeah, for y'all, I don't fall, man. So that was my little embarrassing thing, whatever. But it's like, hey, go hard or go home. So, you know.
And look, you live to skate another day, man. And you never let it deter you from going back. So yeah, share some of your skating stories with us over on, YouTube, and let us know how you feel about Skatekey in '87, man. Did you dig the vibes, the '80s vibes? What were your favorite songs, and would you like to hear something like this, like Charles do something like this again? Let us know over on YouTube, StarCHaser Central. We are on Twitter, StarCH Central. You can also follow us on our individual pages. I'm at Stick Around 54. That's STIK around 54 on Twitter and Instagram. Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
On Instagram, the Mike Jackson, THE Mike Jackson. On Twitter, Mike D Jackson, Mike DEE Jackson. That's 1D, 2 E's. Holla at me. Make sure you guys are following Charles Hamilton on Twitter at Charles Hamilton. Make sure you're subscribed to him on YouTube at The Talented Mr. Hamilton. By the time you guys see this, it's probably going to be too late, but it's like last week, Charles Ramley just went live on YouTube. Didn't, no warning, no nothing. He's in the studio as well, So, hey, you never know when he's going to go live. And also, and last but not least, make sure you guys are in tune with him on his blog. If you want to see almost any and everything, any updates, that's where you're going to find them the most at enterthehamilton.blogspot.com. Let me say this real quick. If there is going to be a sequel to this, I think it would be cool because it's about time. You know what I mean? Skatekey in '89. That's
year. Vintage year.
Or Skatekey 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Always Electric Boogaloo. Be sure to let us know what you want us to review, man. We like tapes like these where one or both of us either haven't heard it or we don't remember listening to it. Those are cool. Also, I just want to just ask, if you haven't already, be sure to rate our podcast. Give us a 5-star if you're really digging it, and it'd be great if you can give us a review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps the algorithms push it out to other people. Some StarChasers that may be in the cosmos that we have not reached yet. That'd be cool though. We really appreciate that. And yeah, this was fun. I had fun. I may never actually skate, but this was fun being at the rink in music form. But Mike, do you have anything for the people before we head out?
Just the usual. Thank you guys for checking out another episode. We appreciate you. But until then, bounce, rock, and let's roller skate.
We are signing out of the StarChaser Central podcast, where we always encourage you to follow your dreams
and reach for the stars.
When you see me, but don't nobody holler when you see me. Why these bitches don't holler when they see me? Why these bitches don't